You were born in Brazil?
I was born in Brazil, in a way to Brazil, and then I had to learn Portuguese, as I grew, Italian at home and Portuguese on the street.
So what brought you and your family to Brazil from Italy?
I guess was farming, because in those days after the World War II, Europeans were way ahead of farming. Like the story of the Southerns over here that were better as farmers, and they went to Brazil. My grandfather, my grandmother, from my mother's side, they were. My grandfather was an incredible handmade shoemaker, which he taught me. And the famous phrase that he told me, if you learn how to make shoes, you're never going to walk bare feet. I said, okay, Grandpa, but I want to go outside with my slingshot and everything else. And then Grandma taught me how to grow. She goes, he who grows believes in the future.
I like that.
So I live by.
Yeah? So you were telling me before you had a very strong interest in guns and worked in a gun factory when you were young?
Yes. And I know how to make guns, and I know how to use. And I told you I have a Winchester in Alaska that has 6 notches. Confirmed.
Yep. So what that led you, walk me through that again. Like you got into the gun factory, you built guns, but somehow you went from there to joining a band.
At 3 years old, my uncle in that little town, my hometown, he was a DJ, and I guess I could sing. So at 3 years old, I went, thanks my uncle, and I sang.
Yeah.
So, he's going to be somebody one day. Then from that, we had a big, I lost my father. And in those days, the Italian family would not allow the daughter to go away from the hometown. And my mom, I guess, she was stubborn like me, or I'm stubborn like her. And she decided to go to the big city. So my grandfather sold everything. And he didn't trust banks, so he went with a big bag of money. We got the train. When we got to the big city, somebody stole the bag. And we were with nothing. And at the time, it was a dictatorship in Brazil. And we were immediately depending on government. And they took us to a place, and I never forgot this. My father's side were very wealthy people. We had a gold necklace, everything else, rings and everything, with my initials, gothical, initials, Boy, I got to a place where they grab us, and I says, hey, this is not right. And the big guys would tell my uncles, hey, there's the law here. And I felt that wasn't right, and I says, as I grow, then I start to make, my grandfather gave me little knives, shoemaker knives, sharp. And I learned always to sharp knife. And I would hide with leather, and I would stab people. I felt, I didn't want to be here, but I'm here, I got to do something.
Sure.
And I did. And then I met a Japanese guy, I met a German guy, the kids. And we're a Greek guy, and we're great brains, Oh, we gotta make a little gang here. And then we start to do the black powder, called zip guns. 9 years old, I tried. It was funny because it didn't work. We went there, hey, what about you? I go, if it lift to me, I'll shoot the son of a gun. And that was the guy, the hitman. So I go, and the bullet, oh my God, and we ran. Oh, you got to do something better. Then, and always musician, always. Okay. Then, in that section, we had a lot of African influence, and we call here voodoo. But like I told you, we had a big yard where I grew. I had my guinea pigs. I got chickens, those things. And alley cats would come and kill my. So with the slingshot, I would down the cats, and then those days, in carnival days, you use the gut skin from cat skin to make tambourines. They sound better. Yeah. I have one here from those days.
Do you really?
Oh,
you
yeah.
Still have it?
I still have.
Nice.
I still have that. I killed a cat and I skinned, I cleaned it, and I made the tambourine. And then I used to deal music. My grandfather gave me when I was 5 years old. He gave me like you guys call ukulele, but it called cavaco originally. Ukulele originally came from Portugal.
Okay.
Okay. When the sailors, Portuguese, went to Hawaii and they took their cavaco, and the local people changed a little bit the pattern. But anyways, that's history. And then I kept playing guitar, playing ukulele, but I was left-handed. Another thing that I guess, even nowadays, I go out, nobody has a left-hand guitar. I take my guitar, and but I learned to play upside down, big time, I was in a recording studio one time with my homemade, my jazz master that we're still dealing with the company, okay, yeah. Back again, and the great engineer, sound engineer, he goes, well, we got a little problem here, and then he goes, check the bass player, check the, no, you, let me see you, Sergio. Oh, it's you, Sergio. For some reason, I missed to put the ground on a metal bridge, or it came off, so it wasn't work for the recording studio. So you go and bring a right-hand guitar, Les Paul, and give it to me, try this one. And the bass player, the drummer, and the other guy, and the keyboard said, hey, he's left-handed. Well, what's... And then he goes, from the window. And they're playing, and then what? Typically, you got to wait for the red light to disappear. But done. He grabbed the mic. He goes, you son of a why you? I said, hey, that song is so easy. You can play with your left hand or right hand. I don't give. And my morale.
Yeah.
But at times I wished I was not only guitar, scissors, because I got. Thank God. You hurt your fingers when you use wrong shears, because they're built differently. But when I came to USA, I still could buy left-hand guitars and other things that normally I had to manufacture or get by with.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So the name of your band in Brazil?
It was the Jet Black.
The Jet Black. And you guys got pretty big down there. It
was. But before that, I had my own band, which was called the Pirates, which I got pictured with, and I designed my first guitar. I built my first guitar professionally when I was 14 years old, and I got some nice picture that I'll show you. Yeah. But anyways, that I'm talking about 1960, 1961, then 1964 up. I was with the Jet Black. And did other things too, I'm always doing things.
You were pretty well connected down in Brazil.
Yeah, but that from '64 we had a revolution, a second time. First time, 1955, they assassinated a dictator, and then they became military. And then the military was fine until like I told you, I was on TV and. Somebody decided that, I like him. Oh, boy.
Yeah?
And then I felt, not even my 6-shooter I could do with somebody with a machine gun on you,
Yeah.
So I said, I better bail out, get out of this country, and that's what I did.
So that's why you came to the U.S.?
Yeah. Hey, I got a good one for you.
Okay.
Jumping from 1966 to 1969, which I was already great L.A., got to LA with $100 in my pocket. Nobody waiting for me.
Yeah.
I found my way. Anyways, I created a band with some other friends that I met, incredible singers, incredible people. But one time, anyway, to make long story short, I told somebody gave me a wagon that I nicknamed Roach Wagon.
Yeah.
Because parking in poor side of town, because I was hanging out with the brothers, in Watts, and they had a band that was called, when I went in, I want to play with the brothers, really kick some bees. And when the name of the band was called Ebony,
Ebony. Okay.
all brothers. And then I pop in, and they really dug it. Wow, wow, man, look this cat, man, oh, watch out. Hey, look, check it out. So, cooking, of course, the famous tray with all the pleasures you want. Says, no, I was born high, so lay low, So I says, I don't need that. That's fine. And I was there for a good time, but I never fought. Nobody messed. I used to play with a band on a Baptist church. I said, that's where rock and roll was born. Yeah. That's it. You can imitate, but you cannot be just like. Because it's natural. That's their, Anyways, so and then I brought my drummer, Louis. So, hey, what are you playing, man? I said, hey, I'm down Watts. You crazy, man. They killed nothing. They killed. If you don't think positive, if you show that you are a prey, a predator will bite you.
Yeah.
But if you show a predator that you can be as tough as they are, hey. And the funny thing that in Watts, the brothers were afraid of the Chicanos. They'll stab you. I said, oh, right in my alley. Yeah. I said, I can make a knife. Shit, hey, man, hey. So it was, and then I went to live with the Chicanos. Yeah. Also, I didn't tell you. I wanna meet people at their own pace.
Sure.
And then I'll have my own ways of judging. And I never judge. I had a good time at both places.
Sure.
The only thing I saw a lot of stabbing, a lot of shooting in east side of LA. And I saw a lot of things I didn't like. But I went there and I started to teach them how to speak Spanish.
You taught them how to speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I met this guy out of the brothers. Anyways, to finish the story with the brothers, when I brought Louis, and then Biva said, hey, you know what, man, I think we should change the name of the band, which I have a magazine, that first gig we did. And he goes, yeah, let's go. No more Ebony. We got two honkies here with us, man. So let's call them Chocolate.
So you did tour solo for a while.
Yeah, I traveled every state of the union.
You told
looking
me
for love in all the wrong places.
And you told me you ended up in Canada, or was it Minnesota or North Dakota or something like that? You were telling me a story about a restaurant up there.
No. Wisconsin. Lake
Wisconsin.
Geneva.
Okay.
That's where I met Grateful Dead people.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to tell us how you ended up there and how that all worked out?
Wow. Okay. So I had a four-banger at the time, Vanagon, VW, and I decided to go to visit my daughters. And so typically, I pack guitars and amps, microphones, carpentry tools, and I had no money, just down, And as I crossed the state, I managed to go. I told you that I did all the cheating possible. It's a long story, right? It took me 3 weeks to get to Wisconsin, and I got there around a week before 4th of July. And here I'm in Lake Geneva, summer. That thing was so hot. And I parked under a tree, and then I probably told you I saw a club, a guy advertising a band. So as I crossed the street, I was similar like this. And as I crossed the street, I saw that this guy's picture was this guy that I'm holding he was on the picture of the band. I said, shoot, this place can pay a band. And I said, I better, but here I am. So I said, hey, I'm new in town, and I said, I'm broke. I had $13 in my pocket that a church gave to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyways. So he says, hey, but there's a German restaurant there. They might need you. So I said, poor guy, he's trying to get me away from the area. Well, thank you. So I walked there. It was about 3, 4 o'clock between hours. And I walked through the back because I didn't look formal to go through the front. It's a fancy place. So I go, and then there was a little desk. This girl, poor thing, she didn't know much. I says, is the musical director here? And she goes, huh? I says, anybody in charge of music? She goes, oh, go upstairs, and talk to Butch. So I go upstairs and knock. Coming in, I open the door, like I always was taught as a little kid. Somebody tells you to walk in, don't invade. Stay there and wait for the person to say, sit down. I'm going to die that way. Anyways, so I said, my name is Sergio 2000. Came from Alaska. And he was sitting there. And he looked at me like this. Whoa, you came from Alaska? I says, yes, sir. I drove my four-banger. And he goes, whoa. So he says, what's the reason? I says, oh, my daughters are here, and I haven't seen them, And at the time, my ex was creating more problem. I couldn't visit. So I says, I'll drive. I go there. So I talked to him, and he felt so sorry for me. He says, you can park your van there. I says, well, it's full of equipment. He goes, you can bring your equipment over here. But sir, he goes, listen. Open the drawer. $300, 3 bills. He says, go happy 4th of July with your daughters.
Yeah.
So had a good time. And then I kept working for him, vacuum, polishing, everything. Beautiful, beautiful place. Until the time that says, listen, I was not a chef for him, but I was a prepper, yeah. I did all kinds of things, Eddie, he liked me. He goes, hey, why don't you, I'm going to talk to my father-in-law. You can't play. So I had my beautiful Gibson D175, which I don't have anymore. And I was playing a big jazz guitar. I was playing there. And at the time, I heard so much bad things about the Grateful Dead. But those deadheads are coming to town. Be careful. Some restaurants don't open the door. and I learned so much about the Grateful Dead because they said the kids come in with their VWs, and I felt, my hell was VW. But my VW was a German one, so it was not, a Vanagon never had that fame as the combi, the typical. And I heard about it. You better lay low, sir. I'll be playing, go to Alpine Village. And they went. Well, one night, I'm playing around midnight. The matron come to me, says, they're putting in front of me, about probably 20 feet, a line of tables, setting up. And then in walks about 18 people, the roadies, and I saw Jerry. I knew, who did. And then they sat there, and I'm playing, and I said, I better play some jazz bossa here, intricate chords, play. And then Jerry, kept looking. And then Jerry says to Metrit, when I'm done, to go sit on that table. And Jerry moved, put another chair. I sat by Jerry, and he goes, congratulations. I always want to play like you. I says, well, as a musician, you know the story now. I always played in big bands, I miss the drums, I miss the bass lines, the looks, and the jive that you have, you know. I says, but, you know, life leads you, and I'm here playing as a single. And he goes, man, all that line you do with your bass, and then your harmony, and then you melody with the voice, and then you do some bebops, and then you thumb, you play with, he says, and they told the other guy, you see, this is how a guitar player should be. I'd love to be like that. I felt like I felt so great, you know. But they were so nice to me, and then they left. So that was the part that I met Jerry and the gang.
Yeah.
You know.
So let's take back. You were in Alaska for a while.
14 years.
14. What took you to Alaska?
To condense the situation, I've been always an oddball. I don't like politics, and you know. As a kid, I had the honor to give lessons to people that were becoming philosophers, professors, and they would bring to the ghetto, bring the university books for me to read, and I was very interested in manipulation of the mass through fear, power, and faith. You know. So I never agree, and I felt, well, nobody's going to notice me. I'm one person that as I guess I heard a few weeks ago, I'm one of a kind. I bucked the Catholic Church. I bucked everybody that I didn't believe, and which I taught my daughters. Same thing. I says, if you don't feel like it, don't do it. Move. Can't change? Move. That's what made me go to Alaska, because I couldn't find places I never found in the United States places like in the jungles of Brazil. That's a real McCoy, man. They have to worry about the Indians. Insects that can kill you in a New York second. Yeah. So you have to learn how to get water from bamboos or from tubers that you can chew. You know, that's survival. Catch fish by hand, catch a snake by hand, catch everything by hand, make your own weapons, you know, all kinds of snares, and be careful, because you can be the next.
Yeah.
There's that 24 hours clock never fails, man. Everybody, you see people, I used to, coming back, which I didn't tell you, coming back from the jungle, I would find skeletons floating, on the side of the bank. I would bring a skull one, because I could sell to the university, you know, for people, students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these people died out in the jungle from the elements or nature?
The die of everything. Mostly is killed by politicians, and they have a chopper that will pick up the bodies and go away there and then
really
drop this Piranha River, you know, which I was told one day before I left Brazil. Somebody's going to find your skeleton in that place. I said, my gun, 6 bullets. The guy comes with a machine gun with all the power. I says, time to go. But anyway, jump into USA. In 1973, I was doing big money. I had a restaurant. I had a 16-piece band, doing gigs on a Golden Room, Hilton Hotel, you know. But, and then I had my daughter that's not here, little Kathy. And in those days, television programs would show you adult programs after 10 o'clock or midnight. And I saw an FBI file of the child molesters. I told her mother, I says, I'm not killed up this person. I'll torture the son of a gun to the ground. I'll take pieces. So I'm going to get out of here. I want to move I went to Wisconsin, the other place, but too much redneck, too much BS. I said, no, I want to go in a place where you are by yourself. I said, so they call Alaska Last Frontier. And it was funny because I told you I made fur coats. I drove to Beverly Hills, and my ex agent, Gail McConkey's agency, called me, Serge, stop by before you go. Okay, girl. So I stopped by 5:30, and her son, Mark, was dealing with Alaska. You know, we need to find a bass player, mother. You know, the big opening, you know, this weekend. It was probably Thursday. And that's when Gail says, Sergio, do you play bass? I said, I play anything for $1. And she goes, would you like to go to Alaska? I says, when, Gail? She goes, this Saturday. I says, what it is? She goes, $250 a week, room and board, and round trip. Done. I go home. I says, Helen, we're going to Alaska. She goes, out of your mind, you're not going home. I says, was nice meeting you. And as usual, you know, she goes, well, what about your daughter? I said, when she grows up, she will know the truth. And I made the deal, took off, and I went to a local music store. I rented a bass, right-hand bass. I never opened the case. And I had a drummer, bitchin', funky drummer, a boy, white boy, my buddy to this day, you know. And he says, and he was playing a nice funk band. And the singer was going to meet out there in Alaska. So he met me at the LAX, and he goes, oh, are you the bass player? I said, yeah. He says, what kind of bass you have? I said, I don't know. He goes, how do you don't know the bass? I said, by the way, I haven't played bass for the last 5 years. But according with the repertoire, that's all now, jangin', no, with pick. I said, hey. It was very, you know, simple things, you know, like Gordon Lightfoot, you know. But anyways, it was everything in the three-chord progression. God. Anyways, but I got this round trip. I want to go there. So and poor Pug was desperate. But you haven't seen the bass. And then I says, on top of it, I'm left-handed. You know, he goes, oh my God. So we got there to the place, the nice place. And it was summer, man. And a cricket was all glass windows, and the salmon jumping, going up to the creek. I says, I'm staying here, not going back to LA ever, you know. And that's how it happened. Funny, when I pulled the bass out of my first, and poor Pug was completely desperate, incredible musician. And what he does, I saw the upright bass. It didn't have a strap. So I tuned quickly. I was going to tune with the guitar player. Oh, it's okay. I says, oh my God, this guy's a tragedy, which he really was. But God bless, through him, I went to Alaska.
Yeah.
And I stayed there, and then I noticed that Joanne, the owner, she was her dream of life to have a restaurant. So she, mother of several beautiful young girls, and very smart in the Red District. So she married this guy, you know, had a lot of money, and she made him buy the restaurant. She had no knowledge in cashier, in nothing. It was a dream come true. And then my ex was in California. So, and the local cashiers didn't work good with her, okay? And then I said, Joanne, my wife's in LA, you know, I can't bring her. So I called Helen and said, get your crap ready, come over here. So she finally came with my little girl.
So she joined you in Alaska?
Yeah, so she went to, you know, now we got a place, we have a room and board, you know. The first gig, I played with the trill. Then Joanne knew that I could sing, you know, and I only happened to know her two favorite songs, Rhinestone Cowboy and Ray Price, Don't Look So Sad, I Know It's Over. And I could croon. So she signed a contract, put a place for us to live, and then we kept. And then a bass player that I met, he had a pistol in the top of the mountain. and then nobody wants to buy, and I bought, and that's what I told the story.
Yeah.
Thank God.
So at some point you got into taxidermy.
Well, that I believe I was always capable to do taxidermy, but I never, because I learned to dissecate things with the Indians. I was always killing animals okay. But I did in 1969. I worked as a helper. Also, again, problem with drugs. Uh, I was making my name as a Sergio 2000. I play on Sunset Strip, Hollywood Strip, and at the time, some incredible, international famous musicians from Brazil, jazz players. They went to jazz festival, Montreal Jazz Festival, but then they decided to come to LA to visit Sergio Mendes and the people. And I had a restaurant.
So you owned a restaurant at that
I
time?
owned a restaurant.
Okay.
So
What was it called?
called Favela Club, which is another. If you, like I tell you, you go to a place, you study the laws, you study what you can do, you cannot do, and just play in between. So I did put in as a club. I could throw parties, private parties, and then I created a club, non-profit organization, where her mother used to be the secretary. And then at the time, they didn't have this rum that only sold in Brazil. So we made contraband from vessels. They filled the engine compartment with oil. I put there probably 5,000 bottles, and I would have a special drink for Brazil in my club, in my personal club. And did I tell you about the FBI came to bust me? No. Oh, this is class. Oh, yeah. Well, the local people said, my God, what a commotion, because it was a very quiet restaurant before. Not when Sergio took over. But, yeah, and I never forgot, I had this Clint Eastwood Smith Wesson, long bear, and I had a doorman that I said, nobody steps, sign everything with the law. Members only. But I says, but some people's going to come in, is going to say, oh, I'd like to enter. Sounds so great. And then in my statute, non-profit organization, anybody that would want to be part of that party, they would have a free membership card. So I would not lose anybody. Well, and that is spread out. Tobacco, alcoholic. They say, hey, we got to bust these people. And when with big parties, I was in my office, all decked with those days platform shoes and bell bottom, long hair. But I always wear jackets from Italy, those nice velour to hide that because the barrel was so long, I want to make my day, So, my door, I say, hey, I don't like that. So I snap, and then I open the door, put my foot, and it goes, let us in. I said, hey, say hello to the president of the club. And I knew they were, you can't smell pig from far away, especially the way I grew up. So I says, he said, well, why are you blocking the door? I says, because I don't like your attitude. I have the power to not accept you as a member. He goes, what do you mean a member? I says, come on in. What's your problem? Don't you want to enjoy? He goes, you're selling alcohol, da-da-da-da-da. I says, everything legal. Who are you? He says, we are the tobacco, we're the law, tobacco and alcohol. I says, no, you're not. Here, you're a member of the Favela Club. He goes, what do you mean? I says, you cannot enter without having accepted and sign it. Hey, wasn't born yesterday. I said, sign it that you want to be a member. He goes, what do you mean? This? They put it. I says, this is your free member. So as a member, I want to salute you for having good taste. But how did you do that? I says, you go to school, you learn one side and the other side. And then he says, Mr. Vigilato, you know what? Yeah, you're legal. He said, what's favela means? I said, ghetto. In Portuguese.
Is that right?
He said, you're part of the ghetto. I love it. You hunk, you eat your ass. Anyways, so he go, well, but then he talk, just a second. Let go out. You go out, talk with his body. They come back, knock again. Now nice. Please sit down. Well, no. Please sit down. You know, I'm the president. So he goes, Mr. Vigilato, we'd like to ask a favor. Yes, sir, if I can help you. He says, would you please don't tell all the other club members that this can be done? I love it. He said, don't worry, I will not tell. But then that's when I'm telling about the jazz musicians, why I went to work again as a taxidermist, they came to my club and they're mean. I have no comments. In fact, a conga player from Sergio Mendes that I used to come there, he went to play with the band Chicago. He became Laudier, which just passed away 2 years ago. He played, and then when they were recording in Los Angeles, where they would come? To Favela Club.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I met all these famous guys. Well, then those guys, maybe we can stay. They did a record, you know. And they said, maybe we can stay here and work under the table. So I had the best drummer, the best upright bass player, the best trumpet player, kicking ass. So we were in this club. But as kicking ass, they were kicking hard, you know. So one day, I walk away from the club, and highway patrol, a police car stop, and then I ask, I says, officer, may I ask you a question? Yeah. I says, I'm a half-ass musician, you know. I didn't say where I was playing, you know. But sometimes I go to parties and I play, and I'm not doing anything wrong, but people are, you know, having a good time, or noise, it goes on and on, LSD goes on and on. I says, what happened if they bust the party? He said, everybody goes. I said, thank you very much. I walked back to the club. I had a nice contract. I went to talk with the owner. I says, you know, I'm giving you 2 weeks notice. He goes, why? I says, I'm giving you 2 weeks notice. I was a Local 47 Hollywood musician member, and I was already up here with, you know, and they would not play that club we were playing kicking ass jazz and all kinds of good Latin and everything else, good rhythm. But if I would say, let's sing Folsom Prison, they would kill me.
Really?
He says, you out of your mind, this guy. Because, no, you know, Johnny Cash. And he sings off key. But that's his style. He made it singing off key. So God bless him. You know. Yeah. You know, and but anyways, I left the club and I told the guy, I says, we've got 2 weeks. Well, what are you gonna do? I says, hey, don't worry about me. You know. And then I was walking by, you know, by Glendale area where I lived, and I saw that taxidermy. I said, whoa, I can do that crap. You know. And then I went in, I told you, Chuck, you know, was an ex-boxer from Albany, New York, you know, the hard head, you know. The first thing I saw, he passed the deck a lawyer that was trying to tell him what to do. And he goes, you know, I said, Chuck, I like that. You know, he says, hey, from that door in, I'm the king here. You killed the animal, I don't know. If it comes with a tag, I'll do it. Get out of here. And the lawyer would sue him. He was in trouble all the time. And I did very well with Chuck. And I was going to be, through Chuck, I met a famous Alaskan hunter, which made movies, you know, the White Safaris, and he would come to LA to bring the rolls of a film, you know, those days, celluloid rolls, come to Hollywood. And I said, Chuck, introduce me to this guy. I never did. He says, I lose a lot of money. I have a cabin in the middle of nowhere. You only come to Anchorage probably once or twice a year if you go. I don't give. I says, there's no cops there. No, not even the troopers get there. I says, that's my place. I will give you team of dogs, you know. I says, I do not know, but I'll learn. You know, I get well with dogs. And but you're going to use the sled only once in a while. Normally, I have hunters there, and I want to put you in a nice place, old cabin, with heat, a lot of wood. You don't have to chop wood. And you do skin the animals properly, because he would lose, the troopers didn't know how to skin the animal. And I skinned that wood like a Wolverine that, for instance, you could sell for $500 raw, called green. You know. It would probably not sell for $80. And he says, and the expense with this, he was a famous guide. So I says, I'm on. And Chuck says, I'm going to lose you, Sergio. But I did. It didn't work. It was when I declined the gig that I was playing, and I saw, and that's when I started. That led me to. I never gave continuity, but for some reason I knew. But then back from Alaska, when I went to Burbank, because I want to me stubborn. I says, there was a girl there that should be mine, and I bit the bullet. But you know, then I was coming down below. I was out of the state, but down Oregon, taking care of the cows, and they had a winery, you know, and I know how to make wine, and plowing the little ranch they had there, pigs, all the animals love me. They follow me everywhere I went, you know. Anyway, so I says, DA 4474 332, something like that. I stopped. I never forgot. Left the tractor, and I ran to the big house. And, Lila, I gotta make a phone call. And then I got a hold of my first love in the United States. You know, so I got the phone. You know, I had the number here. I didn't forget. So I dial in. She does manicure, and when I heard her voice, I says.
You knew by the sound of her voice? Yeah?
I says, this is your old friend, Sergio. When I said that, she was doing her mother's nail, and grandmother was doing the hair. Both I heard, it's him! Because like my grandfather, Papi, don't lie. Lie has short legs. Sooner or later, catch up. I says, Cynthia, if you're happy, forget this phone call. If you're not happy, I'm going to stay here. Here's my number. I'm going to stay, and I think I'm going to go back to Italy. You know, well, the whole scene changed. So she called me. She divorced the guy, my old friend, you know, backstabber. And but she had two beautiful girls, and like my daughter, they became friends. So I said, I better call Chuck, see if he, because one time I had my charter based in Alaska, and I had had a connection with a telephone, radio marine through the mountains. And one time I got a phone call. It's Chuck. Serge, I need you. Where are you? I says, I'm in my yacht my flying bridge crossing the ocean here. Just got back from a fishing trip. And he goes, you cheater. You shouldn't retire. I got to retire before you. I said, too bad, dude. I said, see, anyways. But now I'm in Oregon. So I called Chuck. He said, Sergio, I only have a few years coming. So I went to see her and to see Chuck. And then I only stayed 2 years. That was 1990. Stayed 2 years. And then I opened my own shop. And I kept doing, I am this one-of-a-kind person that I don't do like any taxidermist. I want what the guy want, how. I know how to sculpture. Don't ask me, I never did a sculpture, but naturally sculpture. And that's when I moved and opened my own shop, which was funny because my name of my first shop, thinking as a musician, the Black Brothers, I call my shop as a African-American taxidermy. I lost a lot of customers to start. And then every once in a while, I don't know if you should hear this, but I got a phone call from a from a redneck. But hey, believe me, the guy called me, hey, is this African-American taxidermy? I said, yes, sir, how can I help you? Well, I just shot a nigger in my yard. You want to know how much cost? I said, well, sir, can you kindly go there and measure? Because there's 3 prices. There is small, medium, and large. Oh, it's just a nigger. I said, no, sir, but how you want? Open mouth or turn left? They go, you son of a bitch. They never got me. I would politely, professionally answer. But then I decided, I said, you know what? We had that, the towers, you know. I said, you know what? I'm going to take the just American taxidermy. And then that's when I started to do, I became part of the International Safari Club. And I did animals for Reagan, all this famous.
For Reagan?
Yeah,
okay.
Tennis player. I got a good one with Reagan. Well, these are all millionaires, retired superior judges, and all the beautiful elite, okay? Anyways, that I love. So, and they had this $1,000 dinner that are at Hilton, and Bill, which is another wealthy man that I done incredible animals for him. He's a good hunter, you know. And Bill says, Serge, Reagan, Republican. Reagan is coming from to help his friend from Texas he's going to give a lecture to Hilton, $1,000 at dinner. I says, politics and $1,000 dinner under my dead body. He says, I never, no, but all great hunters. Hey, if they know me, they come to me. I don't go to anybody. Anyways, maybe a little cocky, but with these people, that's how you talk. So it came to a point where he says, I want to take you, Sergio. I want you to meet somebody. I says, well, he says, I'll put $900. Can you put $100? I felt, well, he's insisting so much. Okay, Bill, I go. Well, Hilton. In fact, my car falling apart, we're going to parking places, Rolls Royces, you name it, all the cars. I said, maybe I'll park on the street, and, But you could have 100 millionaires, but only one taxidermist and one of a kind.
Yeah.
Okay. So I walk in with Bill, and we went to this place where Mr. Reagan was introducing there, and a senator lady, Mexican American. Oh, I just watching the famous, vomiting a discussion, and then Reagan, this is a person, inflating the guy, And then, the guy takes the mic on the podium, and then he says, oh, by the way, here's this, I want my friend, the senator from Texas, Mrs. Whatever, Spanish name. And then she grabbed the mic, second phrase that she says, well, thank you very much for being here, and she goes, does anybody speak Spanish here? Nobody. I wait a little bit. I goes. And she goes, would you please come to the podium? For $100. At first she get, hey Regan, what's up? And you go, they don't talk like that. It's everything, written. You talk this way. Hey, here for you. So I says, and then I says, what accent you want me to talk in Spanish? Mexicano, lógico. Sí, mi amor, ¿cómo está, ma? The intonation, and everybody. And then when we left, Bill says, I paid $900 for you. You got a nice dinner, and then you were the only one that goes there to the podium to salute. And that's not the proper way to talk with the ex-president. I says, it's just that he has two things like I do, and if I find somebody that has three, then I might. Right. But that, like me, hey you, So anyway, that was and then later, like I told you, in my shop I had then I moved to another place where they asked me, do you know who Randy Rhoads? Who was Randy Rhoads? I said, I don't know, because I was in Alaska during his Aussie days, It's my uncle. And then I became friends, with the family. I gotta show you. It's in the storage, in bags. I have from NAM show. I have tons of passes, famous people, Everly Broad. I got this. I told you the bags of strings, guitar strings that Everly Brothers they gave to me for 14 years, and then until Phil passed away 3-4 years ago. And anyway, and I'm still very good friends with Jason, his son, very good kid. And anyways, I heard names that I was gone. I was in Alaska, in the middle of nowhere, no television, nothing. The only TV we had was my video camera service that I would videotape my daughters and customers, and I would edit and sell the trip to them. And would you believe, I made more money with my ideas because I lived there. So I videotaped bears, and I would compose the scene all written down. It had my archive, my file. And many times the guy would pay to go fishing with me, and then he goes, I caught all the salmon that I want to do, but the only thing we're leaving tomorrow, I haven't seen a bear. I says, hey, you want? Because he was going to buy the video from the fishing trip. Yeah. I said, I can edit a bear in your trip. And he goes, you're kidding me. He said, don't tell my friend. I want to rub it in. I said, okay. So I had the script. I said, and I had all those attachments, binocular that you put in your lens. I have to this day. It's all gone now. Now you can probably do everything in the computer. But I had everything in the script. I said, okay. I tell my ex-wife at the flying bridge, okay, Kathy, keep rolling, And then I says, listen, here's the script. And by the port side, I says, you're gonna see. The script tells us what you see a black bear walking through the low tide, and there's a big rock there, and it's gonna cross this boulder. So you describe that, okay? Okay. So I get my binocular, my ex-wife with a overshot, okay, from the flying bridge, and then I says, hey, honey, check it out, that place. What do you see there? Let me grab my eyeglass. Yeah, it's a black bear. Hey, check it out. And then he would say, yeah, it's a black bear. He's walking through the low tide and by the rock. And then, okay, they're happy. Winter time, I would edit and send to back east here. Most of them from back east, especially Maryland and Chicago and Michigan, and they all knew how to fish. I said, here you want to catch fish, listen to me, okay? And no drinks and no smoke, So, and they would bring their own fishing pole. I says, that's my favorite. So his favorite in your land. You want to catch fish? You want to use this? My line is, see, we use a 100-pound test line. Gotta use my pole, man. Anyways, so I would add it during the winter time and send to the guy.
You'd add the bear in?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. But one guy, and I had 6 customers. Now he has a party to rub it in. Say, you know, I snuck out and ta. You know how it is. Everybody likes to brag. You know? Yeah. So then he would laugh. Say, oh no, Sergio did that for me. Well, they would call me, and they want also. And I made a lot of money winter time. So just editing, you know, and more money than actually, because it was all me. The cameras were, you know, had done the job.
Do you want to tell us about, you had an African prince come and work with you?
I got a phone call from, I guess, New York. Because for some reason, my name went there, being through the International Safari Club and doing a lot of African animals. My name, some hunters at the site, they would say, hey, is this your first trip? Yeah. Hey, are you from LA or whatever? Okay, go see Sergio 2000. This guy can do anything you want. Anyway, so I got a phone call, and the guy speaks English from England, you know. And he goes, I want to see you. I says, I got my address. So sometimes later, and that was coincide, like I told you, that across the street, there's humongous building that at one time was something really from olden days. Became open to movie companies and television. And it became a place where Michael Jackson was rehearsing there, you know. And when Michael would be there, they would have police all around, the little golf carts, you know, walkie-talkie, all that, you know. Well, one of these days, without the commotion across, I hear, oh, you know, because it was right across the street. I said, oh, probably Michael popped, you know, from the place to say hello to the, because people had to be behind, you know, you're waiting, you know, paparazzi, but see if you can take a picture. And I said, well, maybe it was, maybe he popped. As I walk in, I saw this guy. I don't know if you guys seen Maasai chief, how the bare feet, you know, ivory everywhere. There's mantle, all, you know. And when I saw, I quickly said, hey, it gotta be Baba, you know. I said, hey, Baba, come on, man. And he was already feeling uncomfortable. He didn't expect that happening there, okay? Come on, man. And I said, oh, my God. so he comes in, and then I was really curious. I said, man, this guy talks better than an ambassador. And in our conversation, he said that he was, you know, he was a prince from the king, and he went to Oxford to learn English, and then he likes to collect animals. And I showed you some pictures there, and which I have a better picture. And we became very good friends. And then he says, I want to learn taxidermy, Sergio. I told you the story. So I said, okay, Bob. He was another one of a kind, man. That's right in my alley, okay? And he was simple, very pleasant, you know. And then I says, hey, I got a good one for you, Baba. He says, what? I says, we have a tribe in the northern part of the Amazons called Butokudos, and they also have not with ivory, but made of hardwood, you know. And then everything, and they do. And he goes, wow, interesting. I says, I don't know. You guys were there before Brazil was discovered, and we had an incredible conversation. And then he goes, Sergio, I'm going to bring my water buffalo, you know, shoulder for you to show me how to take her. So then Michael Jackson, that rehearsal was gone, the street was okay. And I said, and I had an entrance, main room where Baba was there, and then back room were my power tools, the industrial tools. So I says, and I had a sign, no solicitors, you know. But this day, I says, Baba, I'm going to be working in the back, you know. And you know, big cities, salesmen, hey, they don't give a hoot if it's a funeral. They're going to pop in to try to sell something. And I was in the back, and I heard this scream in the sounds of somebody galloping away from my shop. So as I walk into the room where Baba was, I said, what happened, Baba? He goes, I don't know, two guys. And then I ran, and there were two salesmen with the papers flying from them, and they were running for cover. Because they, can you imagine? You walk into a place and you see a chief, Maasai chief, with a big, you go, ah! So I said, I'll be right back, Baba. I went to the other corner, left hard. Oh my God, I'd love to have a camera. It's a classical. But anyways, so I came back, you know. I says, well, I was a couple of salesmen, really. And I got a picture that I have with him. My ex-wife took, you know. Yeah. Because I wanted her to see, you know, a real Maasai chief, you know.
That's so cool.
It's super duper. It goes on.
Do you want to walk? Like, how did you become involved with Lady Gaga's meat dress?
Same situation as other musicians, you know. I didn't know their names. I got a phone call, and the guy said, this is June from Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And do you know Lady Gaga? I said, nope. Me, you know, there's other groups that I didn't know. I said, have you seen her meat dress? Nope. And he goes, you have a computer? I said, yes, I do have a computer. But he goes, I'm going to send you some picture and you call me back. Okay. So I saw the picture. Platform shoes. Okay. So I call him. June, this is Sergio 2000 from American Taxidermy. I saw. He goes, well, can you fix it? I says, 1 sec. Now. He says, you talk with the guy. He says, I can fix anything if you can afford it. That's my phrase. I made millionaires be there on their knees, and I says, hey, the artist is here. You want to pay? I'll do anything. I'll change anything. You name it. I'll frame it. But if you can afford it. And 80% paid in advance, which you know what I used to do? I get like $8,000, $15,000. I call my friend that has a travel agency. Says, Christina, a round trip to Brazil, to Rio de Janeiro, a little hotel in the beach, and then I have all the information from the guy. I go there, they serve drink for you, you know, anything on the beach, and I have with my pad and I drawing, and then my ex-wife said, you know what you could do with that money? I says, I did. I says, hey, can't take it with you when you go, you know. So, and my ex-wife was my employee. She didn't want to be part of the company. I said, fool for you. You stay home, go make your nails. I'm going to go, I'm in business. And then, anyways, back to Lady Gaga. I told June, I says, listen, how long ago that happened? He go, 3 weeks ago. I says, and where is the meat dress? Oh, it's in one of the stylist's room. I says, it must be blue by now. If a fly didn't lay on it. I had maggots all over. So he goes, oh, let's make a three-way conversation. So I got another, and he was a very nice guy. Came to my shop there. And he says, well, oh, really? I didn't know. Hello, So that's why they eat the McDonald's all the time, because it's putrefied, doesn't matter. Got a grinder here. Psh, okay, anyway. So I says, you send me $6,000 in advance to buy it overnight, I says, because I have a trip to go to Italy. So he was there, and freeze it and bring it to me. Oh, it took about probably 3 weeks for, I was back from Rio again, another trip to Rio, and they make some incredible drinks by the ocean, which you can drink, and So, anyways, then things start to get worse because the paparazzi found out that I had, and then I asked the landlord. I says, listen, do you mind if I build up a fence, which I'm building now? So I built up a fence and grew a lot of papaya trees and guava trees, and I had all this jungle. Oh, I love it. So I told June, I says, June, I'm going to give you 6 pieces of meat after I killed all the bacteria, everything else. I'm going to dye them in different colors, shades, and you pick one. Talk to Lady Gaga, talk to the stylist, and I never forgot. I was cooking beets, make a beet salad for me to eat, and I'm looking, says, I gotta die, I want more here. I don't know. I got beets, squeeze them, and the beets is like blood. So I marinate there, and then I created some bitchin' fake fat, to give. I copy. I put a see-through paper, and I underline. I copy all the veins that was whitish. So I recreate, and I cut them off, and I have on the side, and I recreate a fish one just like that one. It all number everything. Takes time, man. And then I sent the 5 pieces for them to pick. They picked the one that I did with the beets.
Oh, really?
So if I talk to Lady Gaga, I say, this is a woman, I heard about you, this and this. It's all organic color. Then I went to this guy that used to plant the beets, because California, there's a lot of, by Malibu Canyon, there's a lot of little ranches. And I used to go there by like 2 or 3 packages of each vegetable. This time I went there, says, I want about 20 pounds. And he goes, what are you going to do? Oh, no. Because I needed a lot to create that solution. And the meat dress came out. Actually, they didn't show everything because I did the shoes. I got pictures of it. I did a purse, a crown, and finally, it was a big fight at the end. How I was being so truth to this guy. So when the meat dress arrived at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I was late in delivering. So all the reporters from all over the world were there to see this famous. It became very famous, as far as I know. So the reporters and the editors of magazines, they were there looking, newspapers, looking, and start to ask questions. Because I got a phone call. It was June. Say, Sergio, what kind of chemical you use? What did you use? I said, hello, excuse me, you're offending my integrity of a hoodlum. I was grew up together. You wink once wrong, you're gone. So you got to be really agile and fast. And anyway, I says, smell rat. I says, oh, I use some formaldehyde and some detergent. And that's what the first news back east. Because my friend said, Sergio, they cheat on you there. They're saying that some taxidermists started doing the work. Listen, thank God I was a PO,
So these guys were trying to steal your. They're trying to say they.
But the reporters and the editors didn't believe in my story. And I'm not good in computer, never was, I can wing certain things. And I got in my own. I will use Skype to see my friends in different countries, And anyways, I start to look for how to find this. And then I got in touch with Bob, which was the editor of LA Times, that I happened to be there asking questions for those two jerks. Okay? And then I says, I must talk to the editor. No, talk to me. This is Sergio that made Lady Gaga's meat dress. And then evidently called attention, because at the time was the talk. No, how news are. Great today, tomorrow nobody remembers. So it says, this is Bob, the editor of LA Times. I said, sir, I'm the one that I did Lady Gaga's meat dress, and they're cheating on me. I says, and he goes, how can our cast or group, like you guys came in, how can we go there and talk to you? Are you sure? He says, I says, yes, sir. I got tons of pictures to prove step 1, step 2. I got pictures. My God. So you see the sequence of me doing Lady Gaga's with a different facial, so shows. And then they came in, and that was the end of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah?
Listen, for a month and a half, I couldn't work. I had interviews, total, as I was told, like 116 countries. Sometimes I was telling how I did the dress or the shoes. Actually, they never showed the shoes, bitching, well done, all the work I did. But anyway, they paid me. They would, I was giving details about what I did. A phone call from like New Zealand. You're on a rock show here. You're on Mr. 2000. So, whoa. Well, I guess I'm good for something after all. And I said, so could you kindly please, for the report, the news lady that was taking notes, and talk, and on. It went on and on. Then the best was from Germany, because when I used to study German, and my instructor is Germans, and I want to go to Germany, and I would buy the magazine, the German magazine, and I have an American magazine in other countries, because I like languages. And I says, wow, can you imagine one day, you show up in the Spiegel, and then the editor of Spiegel called me, and I heard her accent, and I goes, wie geht's Ihnen? She goes, oh, sprechen Sie Deutsch? I said, ja, aber ich spreche nicht gut Deutsch. And then we, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, my name wasn't in this magazine, my friend. For me, it was as a little kid, and I said, oh my God. But I got paid, and then I don't know, never heard about June anymore. Also, I was supposed to be there during the celebration, which never happened, because I believe, I don't even know if June and this curator are working anymore there, because sometimes a scandal like this, not a local scandal, all over the world. Sure. See, like my grandfather told him, don't lie, because lies has short legs. Sooner or later, you catch up with, somebody catches up with you. I remember that. I said, thank you, Grandpa.